You know the setup. A group of unsupervised kids pedaling their bicycles furiously through the twilight, riding straight toward an adult-sized danger. We see it everywhere today, from Stranger Things to the modern It adaptations. But the blueprint for these stories was established in August 1986. It started with a novella called The Body. Unlike the supernatural horror that made him famous, Stephen King wrote a grounded story about four 12-year-old boys hiking out to find a missing child's corpse. Hollywood executives hated the pitch. A movie with zero monsters, four foul-mouthed kids, and a dead child looked like a massive financial liability. The project stalled until television producer Norman Lear stepped in, pulling $7.5 million out of his own pocket to bankroll the production independently. This left rookie director Rob Reiner with an imposing challenge: take a grim script no one wanted and turn it into a mainstream feature. Because the major studios had rejected the project, Reiner was left without corporate oversight. He used that creative vacuum to pivot away from horror, building a story centered on the internal reality of being 12. Reiner realized early on that the dead body was a secondary element. The actual anchor of the story was the emotional journey of the protagonist, Gordy, who served as a stand-in for King himself. To make that journey work, Reiner threw out the standard casting playbook. Instead of seeking polished child actors, he sought boys whose real-world personalities and off-screen traumas mirrored the script. Take Corey Feldman. He channeled his actual, ongoing off-screen abuse and fractured home life to create the intensely angry, defensive character of Teddy Duchamp. Knowing the heavy baggage his cast carried, Reiner stepped into a surrogate father role. He spent 2 weeks running intensive theater games to force the boys to rely on each other. That connection bled directly onto the film. When the cameras finally rolled, the chemistry on screen was a product of the month-long bond formed in the Oregon woods. The film's enduring charm is the documentation of four vulnerable kids briefly finding a family in each other. But the movie still had a marketing crisis. The original title, The Body, sounded like a sleazy slasher film. Reiner needed to rebrand the movie's entire identity. He chose the title Stand By Me, using the emotional weight of Benny King's classic track to shift audience expectations toward wistful reflection. That strategy extended into the audio design. Reiner used diegetic sound, music the characters can actually hear, to embed the audience in the upbeat 1950s using portable radios and Buddy Holly tracks. Then he contrasted those bright oldies with total silence. Whenever the boys confront the natural world or the threat of a steam train barreling down the gorge, the music drops out completely. This juxtaposition forces the audience to feel the core metaphor. The vibrant innocence of childhood is constantly interrupted by the silent, unstoppable approach of mortality. That theme culminates in a profound anticlimax. When the boys finally find the body, there is no triumph. They simply make a phone call and walk back to town, realizing their childhood is over. The adult narrator solidifies this loss as he types the film's final line: "I never had any friends later on like the ones I had when I was 12. Jesus, does anyone?" That line carries an aching nostalgia on screen, but it also reflects a bitter real-world aftermath. Once production wrapped, the cast drifted apart, suffering the exact same fate as their fictional counterparts. That tragedy is compounded by River Phoenix's premature death at age 23. His passing locked his character's themes of lost potential into reality. Today, Hollywood keeps trying to replicate this specific magic. But modern imitators usually fail, copying only superficial aesthetics, like the vintage bicycles and period-accurate radios. Reiner's blueprint succeeds because it resists making the past look joyful. Instead, it treats nostalgia as a mourning process for the people we used to be. Stand By Me persists as a model for the genre because it strips away the comfort of the past and focuses on the agonizing moment when innocence dies.